Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm gonna be giving you part 6 of What If Naruto was from all the clans and taken by Obito. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto had a powerful familiar over Anime King 2. And on Anime King I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto had a solo sensei, so go ahead, check out that and enjoy. And on this channel I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto had the most powerful Sharingan, so go ahead, check out that and enjoy. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family, and thank you for all of your help and support. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Let's get right into it, guys. So the last time we left off, Kabuto was taken away from the stadium as he was confused. One moment he was there, next moment he was not. Something had grabbed him, he was definitely sure of that. As he came face to face with Naruto, he was frightened, because he did not know that Naruto knew that he was working for Orochimaru. As Naruto told him to relax, he's not here to rat out him on his plan or anything. He merely wished to talk to him. As Kabuto was unable to do anything since Naruto pierced him with those strange knives. That Kabuto didn't know where he'd get them from, but he was unable to access his chakra at the moment though. It was all scrambled as Naruto sat down, crouched to be exact, right in front of him. As he asked him, would he spend the rest of his life being a lackey? He told him several things that would make him question his loyalty to Orochimaru, but Kabuto told him he will never question his loyalty no matter what he said. He was loyal through and through. His words had the opposite effect on Naruto. He thought that Naruto would rat him out, know that he knew, but Naruto freed him and told him to do what he liked. But the world's a rather large place. Wouldn't he like to be in charge one of these days? So with that he left him. Lulu came to the village as she found Naruto, as he could have waited for her, but he, well, did not. As he asked her where Ajisai was. Things were too dangerous. Ajisai will get a promotion based off her skills back at the Hidden Rain. Considering that there was no people from the Hidden Rain here to watch the exams, there was no point. She was just here to back up Naruto just in case. As Naruto asked her if she was worried, she merely shrugged him off. As a civilian bumped into Naruto and he saw who it was, he became rather disrespectful towards Naruto, who merely smiled. That man went home to his wife and kids, only to find Naruto there, as Naruto gave him and his family a brutal death with a smile on his face. These people should really know their place. Just because they're out in the open doesn't mean that they would never be in the darkness once again. After which the exam finally came to a start. The Kazekage, who was secretly Orochimaru under disguise, sat down beside Hiruzen, as Sasuke made his way up towards the booth, as he made small talk with Naruto, while more like demanding things from him. But Naruto had already shown that he was no match for him, while Sasuke's mind refused to believe that. Things were happening behind the scenes, as Naruto stood there with Lulu, as he watched the matches took place. When Ajisai's name was called, she was not here, so she forfeited her match. Lulu's name was called to face off against Gaara, but Naruto whispered something in her ear, as she seemed to be against his butt. He held her hand. She then forfeit, as Sasuke asked her why would she give up when he's going to fight his match, but she chose to just ignore him. After a while he stopped talking to her. Naruto made his way down there to face off against Lee, as he asked if he could see his hands. As Lee saw under the bandage, he admired Lee training. He admired his strength of never giving up, pushing her body to the absolute limit, sometimes being on the verge of death itself. He admired that. As both him and Lee started to tussle, until Lee removed his weights, realizing that even at this speed he was no match. As Lee started putting everything he got in the match, but even with just only taijutsu, Naruto was still bodying him. As Lee made his special move by opening the gates, the participants were shocked. So were the senseis, as they were shocked as Lee pushed it straight up the 5 gates. That is when he attacked Naruto from behind, but Lee body reacted before he could as he jumped back. Everyone was shocked, as the guy could tell this feeling. He was afraid that Lee was gonna die. So yeah guys, that's basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place and check it for yourself. Remember to go ahead and check out the other What Is Over and Making and Anime King 2. Yes, that's right. I do have 3 channels, and Making 2 and Making 3, which I do post for fun every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Let's get right into this, guys. The arena was stunned silent. The first few matches were never like this. The people in the audience were afraid. The last time they felt this sinister feeling was when the Kyuubi attacked the village. Kurenai looked towards Kakashi and the other Jonis as she stood beside. He's a mere kid yet. How could he possess an aura like this? Said Kurenai as Asuma noticed Gaia's hand was shaking. Not because of himself, but he was worried about his student. Lee's body had jumped back by itself. Because Lee felt it at that moment, if he attacked, he would die. The feeling that Naruto released, it felt abnormal. It felt inhumane. It almost felt demonic. But it did not feel like the Kyuubi, it felt like something else. As most people started to sweat, the place was so silent you could drop a pin and hear it. Up in the booth, as the Kazekage narrowed his eyes. He always knew that this boy was trouble, but it seems like he was more than he was letting on. Harrison had a look on his face. Normally, you wouldn't feel such an oppressive aura from someone, but this, it was just dark, so tainted. What really happened to Naruto while he was out there for the past 10 years? It was nothing good if he could muster up an aura like this. In the booth, what the hell, said Kankuro. That guy did not show them anything like this when he was in the Forest of Death. Gaara started to twitch violently as he heard the voice in his head. Mother wanted him to be dead, as this sinister aura was affecting him. Sasuke was even sweating rather badly. In the hospital, Sakura's eyes shot open as she started to cry. As her entire body started to squirm as she felt it, it was his presence. As she started to tremble in the hospital. The same goes for Ino. She shouldn't have entered his mind, and she was now suffering the backlash even after so long. But her father had checked to make sure everything was okay. Her mind was perfectly stable, but it seems like a mental scar was left on her from entering his mind. But the thing was, when he tried to invade that memory, he could not see it. But Ino wasn't sure what it was either, but every now and then her body seemed to just go into this state of fright, as she had burned herself with some rather hot tea when she had shake and accidentally tossed the tea on herself. So she returned to the hospital to get the burned bandage up. Sakura was fine to leave any day now, but her parents saw that she was not acting like how she was supposed to act. They had kept her here for further investigations, so the doctors could make sure that she was 100%. But there was nothing physically wrong with her. It was just this mental scar from what he did. As Sakura had literally felt the life leaving her body, and that look in his eyes. When she looked in his eyes, she didn't know what she saw, but unaware to her, Naruto had his Sharingan activated, and he made her saw things that conflict her mind. He warned her already. It would either break her or make her get stronger, and she was broken at the moment. Back in the arena, Lee felt the muscles in his body tightening. He had to move. So with that, he rocketed forward as he was currently consumed with the aura of the fifth gate. He reached Naruto in record time as he flashed in front of him. He cocked his fist back and threw it forward only for him to vanish and blurry appear right at Naruto's midsection. To his surprise, Naruto crossed his arms down low. Lee's fist slammed into him like a tidal wave. Naruto was pushed back slightly as the force of the fist released a thunderous breeze that blew his hair back, but yet his body barely even moved. Lee flashed behind him and dropped down, an ox kick to crack Naruto's shoulder down. But Naruto spun around and blocked it. The ground cratered as it spread out in spider webs. Jumping back, Naruto's hands were at his side. He then moved forward right towards Lee as the both of them intercept right in the middle. The two forces clashed as people were surprised that Naruto could still keep up with Lee even at that speed and strength that Lee now possessed. Lee pushed it a bit further as his body started to tremble, the power exploding out of him. The veins bulging as he pulled himself back. He moved at the blink of an eye, flashing around Naruto at unnatural speeds to the point where a green blur started spinning around Naruto as Lee's body was no longer visible. "Take this," he said as he flashed in front of Naruto. His body was pent up with so much energy as he released it. His fist created a shockwave of sorts, as the aura created a head of a green beast. It roared and slammed right into Naruto. The blonde was picked up off his feet and thrown, as the aura and the force knocked him away. Lee flashed in front of Naruto as he appeared above, ready to end the fight as he pulled his fist back. But to his surprise, Naruto reached out and grabbed his arm, actually pulling him closer and burying his fist into Lee's stomach. Lee's eyes widened even more than before as that accelerated the pain on his body. His nerves, his muscles, all screamed as Lee cried out. Blood leaked from his nose and his eyes as his body was being viciously hit by Naruto. Naruto held on to Lee's one arm and started viciously pounding to his stomach and his chest. Lee's body started slowly go limp in mid-air as they were falling. The attacks were not normal as they sound like metal hitting metal. Bam! Bam! As the force could be seen on Lee's back the way he was jerked. As Naruto's eyes were keen and calm as he rapidly put the beat down on Lee. It was then that he released him and spun before they drop as he slammed his heel in Lee's temple. Lee was sent sailing through mid-air as he crashed into the ground. Everyone was speechless. I know that kid is strong, but how was he able to take on someone in the fifth gate and make it look easy? Asuma said, as he still couldn't understand what kind of training he went through. Kakashi wondered to himself, as he wondered what kind of training someone could go through to be able to handle the fifth gate like that and yet made it look so effortless. And his attacks, his hits, they were not normal. Was he reinforcing his fist with chakra? Kakashi's Sharingan was out as he focused on Naruto's body. All he saw was a haze, as he wasn't sure what was going on. Hayashi on the other hand was having the same thought as he activated his Byakugan, as he focused on the child. As he saw the haze as well, he was confused why his Byakugan could not see Naruto's chakra or what was going on. He was really confused by this development. Everyone was rather shocked when Lee got back to his feet. Despite losing his gaits because of his body spasming up, he got back to his feet as Naruto's eyes settled on him. "He's dead," whispered Lulu. "What?" said Sasuke as he heard her say something. Naruto then moved. Just in time though, Genma jumped down into the arena as he held out his hands in front of Lee. Genma felt the fist inches away from his face as he gulped, sweat running down his brow. "That wasn't wise," said Naruto. I could have almost killed you. Didn't you hear me? The match is over, said Genma. As Naruto tilted his head, a smile broke on his face. I knew I was impressed by something. Able to stand while you're unconscious. I must say you're something else, Rock Lee, said Naruto. As Lee was on his feet, but he was unconscious. He was out cold. Still, Naruto would have killed him. As that punch, Genma on the other hand felt like his stomach twist. He felt like he was gonna puke. A split second there he saw himself without a head. It was like he died and came back to life. It was the effect that the blonde, ominous aura had on him, and not to mention that punch. What the hell was this kid made out of? It was like his bones were iron or something. As the way he hit Lee, he sent residual force through Lee's body. Guy flashed down there as Lee crumbled. Almost every one of his ribs were broken. Almost. Not to mention his body was in bad condition. There's a good chance that he might die. As Guy quickly went off to the Meg's hospital with him. The ominous feeling slowly subsided. As everyone felt normal once again, as they were surprised how hard it was to breathe, but they did not even notice because the feeling had swallowed the entire area. Not just the stadium, but Konoha. Well, now that was certainly something. Said the Kazakage. That child seemed to be in a league of his own, handling your Konoha ninjas. He's quite brutal as well, going in for the kill. Perhaps he didn't see that the child was unconscious. Perhaps he did not hear us instead, as he was worried. He knew that Naruto never had the best life, but it seems like whatever he went to was even worse. To turn him into this, that aura was just not normal. It was not normal at all. As Naruto made his way up, the contestants that remained, Temari, Gaara, Kankuro, all gave him a look. As Naruto was not smiling as he walked up towards Lulu. His face was blank. Times like these were when she felt she didn't want to be around him. The feeling that she got just from being near him was so dreadful. It scared her. But Sasuke on the other hand marched over. As Lulu saw him coming over, she stepped from beside Naruto and moved forward. Don't, she said. Sasuke was confused. What? I said no. You will not be talking to him. What's your problem? Sasuke said. It will be best for everyone if you step away. Sasuke was confused. That is when he saw the look on Naruto's face. It wasn't the look that he gave everyone. It wasn't the look that he had on down there. Gaara stepped forward. You wanted to kill him, he said. You've already declared that you would do so, and yet he got away. I know you're quite frustrated. As Naruto glanced towards him. You don't have to worry about that, Uzumaki. Once you and I fight, you can take your wrath upon me because I will feed your blood to Mother. I want you to prove my existence. You are the one, and the only one that can prove my existence. As there was a sick, twisted smirk on his face, as he seemed to be happy with glee. The next match was Kankuro versus Sasuke Uchiha. Before Sasuke could even make his way down there, Kankuro gave up. As people started to boo, many of them came here to see the last Uchiha within Konoha, so to hear that he wouldn't be fighting, many of them were rather upset. But Sasuke did move on to the other round though, even though he didn't fight in this round, as people were still upset. The next match was Shino versus Temari. As they made their way down there as she decided to fight, it will look too suspicious as she gave up as well. The match went on for a while as Shino was trying to get his bugs near to Temari, but she had a few knowledge on some of the clans in Konoha, and she knew about him and his bugs. So she didn't want any of those to get near her, so she kept on blasting the entire area. While Shino was able to use his bugs quite effectively, he wasn't. A close combat fighter in Temari decided to counter both of his options by not going near or staying too far away from him. As she didn't allow his bugs to get to her, she used her fan to glide over him. using several powerful wing jutsus. Having no way to get his bugs close enough, Shino gave up on the match, as he realized that he would lose in the end. Not to mention he was so close to getting blasted away. And being knocked out rather than giving up was the best solution right here, as Temari was declared the winner of the match, as she made her way back up rather calmly. When she came back up, she noticed that Naruto was much more calmer than before. "You must be tired," he said, swinging that large fan of yours all around. "What's with you and my fan?" she asks. "What? I like it," said Naruto. "It's a rather fetching tool." "Well, you can't have it," she said. "You stole it before, but that's not gonna happen again." "Oh, don't worry," said Naruto. "I won't take it away again, I promise." "I don't hear what you say. You're not going anywhere near my fan," she said, as he simply smiled at her. A rather calming, deceiving smile, but she knew that he was nothing but calm and deceiving, as she saw what he did to that guy down there. He brutalized him, those hits. She was sure that that guy's ribs were broken beyond repair, the way he hit him so viciously. Perhaps he would never be a ninja ever again, she didn't know. But this guy was dangerous, really dangerous. But it begs the question, what would he do when the invasion happened? After all, he wasn't really a part of this village, so there was no reason for him to get involved. He would just flee like the others, she supposed. But he was a wild, unpredictable person. She didn't know why, as she felt like he would try to do something. Meanwhile, Orochimaru frowned under his veil. The match for Sasuke and Gaara hasn't come up yet. As he had timed things perfectly, he saw if Sasuke had passed through the first round, he would move on, and he'd face off against Gaara next. And not to mention things became a lot worse when Lulu gave up. So this was a lot better. He didn't know anything about the girl or her skills, so he was sure that Gaara would be able to crush her. How wrong he was. But it finally came as Orochimaru smiled. As they move on to the second round, Sasuke Uchiha versus Gaara of the desert. Sasuke was itching for a match, so was Gaara as well, as neither of them had fought since they came here, their opponents giving up. As Sasuke paused, "I'll show you what a real Uchiha is," he said, with a smirk on his face. As he made his way down, Lulu glanced towards Naruto, but he said nothing, his eyes just watching the Uchiha go. As a matter of fact, he kind of looked angry, but he said nothing though, as she wasn't sure he was paying attention even though his eyes were looking off into the distance. He almost seemed to be thinking about something rather deeply. Meanwhile, as Orochimaru glanced towards where the box was, seeing the contestants, his eyes then met with a certain blonde. Orochimaru wasn't sure, but it seems like the blonde was looking at him, not the disguised Kazekage, but him. It seems like he was looking directly at him. He feigned ignorance and turned his head. Meanwhile, Kabuto was panicking. So far so good, Naruto had not told anyone about them yet. It seems like he wanted Konoha to burn as much as them. So this was good so far, but he hoped this went along until the finals came around. Well, this was the match that Orochimaru-san was waiting for. Sasuke and Gaara started a fight down there, as Sasuke pulled out one of his new moves that he learned from Kakashi, the Shidori. With it, he was able to pierce through Gaara, sand armor, and stab into Gaara's shoulder. Gaara went crazy as he started to scream about his blood. Orochimaru gave the signal as feathers started to fall, as Temari and Conqueror quickly leaped out of the box. Conqueror threw several kunais as Sasuke jumped back, as they landed beside their brother, as Baki, their sensei, landed down there and gave them an order as they took Gaara and made their way towards the forest, who was in his unstable state. Sasuke watched as he looked around the entire place. He noticed people started to collapse. They were falling asleep. As there was a boom, he turned to see the Hokage's boot, as there was purple smoke filled inside. What the hell was going on? He watched as Lulu slowly descended down towards the arena, as calm as ever. She wasn't flying, but yet it seems like her feet was slowly guiding downwards. He didn't know why, but it caught his eye. He watched as a shinobi rushed towards her from behind. "Hey, behind you," he said. As she didn't seem to notice, Or did she care? The man didn't even get a few inches close to her as the back of his skull was burst open by a paper shuriken as it reattached to Lulu's body. Lulu looked him over before several individuals landed behind Sasuke. This is him, right? Yeah. Sasuke Uchiha. You're to come with us. Who the hell are you? Sasuke asks. That is not important, the leader of this small group said, as another explosion went off as another wall was destroyed, as a snake came in and started to bring more ninjas. I'm afraid that will not be happening, said Lulu, as she appeared behind the group, shocking them. All the men found themselves leaping back. She's fast. Sasuke noticed something when they leaped back, as Lulu turned towards Sasuke, ignoring them as they moved. Boom! They were seen as an explosion went off from the explosive tags on their back, as some of them were blown clean open. But she didn't seem to care one bit. Why are you saving me? Said Sasuke. Not that I need your help. What do you want? Orochimaru of the Sun is after you. I suggest you get out of here, she said. You will just cause more problem. Get out of here? Are you crazy? I have to go after the Sand team. They won't be getting away. And I have to finish Gaara, or our match is not over. He tried to jump away until Lulu stepped in front of him. I said, clear the area. I don't know who the hell you are or what the hell you want, but you don't give me orders, Sasuke said. Now move! Well then, it's a hard way you want to do it then, she said to him. As paper started to spread from her body, Sasuke frowned. Damn it, no, he had to fight her. He can't let the Sand team get away. But that is exactly what they were doing. Baki had told him to get the hell out of here and go back to the Sand. They were tricked, as the one that was fighting Hiruzen was none other than Orochimaru himself. They messed up big time as Baki was moving around, informing his people that they need to get out of here, but they have done cross Konoha, and he doubt they would let it go so easily. He just hoped the Sand siblings would get out of here. Not to mention they were direct line off the Sabukuna family, and they were the only ones that can become Kazekage because of their line to their father. Damn it, this was bad, really bad. He hoped nothing slowed them down. Meanwhile, as Temari was moved from tree to tree along with Kankuro, as they were helping their brother, Gaara was becoming more stable as he was calming down, reining back in the power of Shikaku. It turned out that they were being tricked. If they were to attack Konoha now and fail, well, they would be in big trouble as Konoha would declare war on them. If the village was able to survive, the Sand was pulling out, they had to get out of here immediately, as Sand ninjas were fleeing, as Baki moved from one to another. But Temari felt it, as she stopped and leaped, pushing Gaara out of the way, but the attack slammed into her. She fell down to the ground. The next thing she knew, she was hit. She felt her right arm go limp, and so did her left arm, as next thing she felt an arm wrapped her in her waist, as something poked against her throat. Gaara started to refocus on what was going on. Bastard, said Kankuro, as a guy was standing there. He had silver hair, glasses, as he had a smirk on his face. Oh, I'm afraid you won't be leaving, he said. You there, Gaara, he said. Would you be a deer and release Shikaku to attack Konoha? Or else, well, I hope you understand what I'll do, he said as he pushed the kunai closer to Temari, drawing a bit of blood. As Temari winced, no, Gaara, don't do it. It will be bad for us. Just go, leave me, she said. Kankuro cursed, as he couldn't get his puppy to the guy in time, as he had not sent one under the earth, and if he moved a muscle he was afraid that he would kill Temari. He couldn't allow that. As Gaara frowned, why should he care about any of this? All he wanted was to feed Mother blood, so that she could destroy everything around him. So then, Gaara, what do you have to say for yourself? Gaara, please, don't do it. Be quiet, Gaara said, as he didn't want his mind conflicted. Why should I care what you do to her, he said. I won't live for myself. You bastard, Kankuro shouted. How can you say that? She's your damn sister. And why should I care? Gaara shouted back. All that I care about is myself. I live for only myself, no one else. As Temari was saddened by that and happy by that at the same time. She would not like to see her village condemned even if she was dead. Kankuro, just go, she said. No, I can't leave you, he said, as he wouldn't let her die. Gaara felt angry because he... Damn it. It's not like he cared about her. Why should he care if she lived or died? She was too weak as she got caught. Protecting him by shoving him out of the way, no. He did not care. She winced at Kabuto pushed the kunai closer. As he started to draw more blood. You bastard, stop doing that! As Kankuro looked around for any means of escaping. Any means of trying to get his sister Clang. The kunai was knocked away as Kabuto took a few steps back. A nasty cut going across his arm. Temari fell. As the balance in her feet was off, he hit her with his strange medical palm jutsu, and he had severed some of her tendons. She was luckily caught though, in the arms of... She was surprised. You, she said, as she could not move properly, but... What are you doing here? As Naruto merely smiled at her. You know, I thank you. Would be a lot better, he said. As Gaara stepped forward, Kankuro stepped in front of him. Don't do this. Can't you see that Temari is injured, not to mention that guy over there wants us dead, so that he can use you? Fighting him right here and now would be bad for all of us. Kankuro then turned. Give me my sister, he said. As Naruto picked her up and held her so she would not fall. As he slowly approached Kankuro and handed her over. Kankuro swallowed thickly. Why are you doing this, he asked. Helping, said Naruto. Think of me as a friend. As Naruto stepped forward so his back was turned to Temari and Kankuro and Kabuto. Hey Gaara, he said. As Gaara looked him directly in the eyes, yes, Gaara could see his eyes for the first time. And Gaara found himself stuck, his mind going completely blank. He heard the Shikaku screaming inside his head until the voice went quiet. As Gaara fell, collapsing face first. He was not even protected by his hand as he collapsed. What did you do to him? Said Kankuro. Temari could not see because of the way Kankuro was holding her. What's going on? She said, as she still couldn't properly move her body. Because of that damn guy over there. Kabuto moved forward to grab the unconscious Gaara. Orochimaru-sama would have great use for him. But before he could, Naruto jumped in his path, stopping him. Kabuto wasted no time as he activated Chakra Scalpels, as he lashed out at Naruto quite brutally. But Naruto evaded off his strikes. Kabuto thrust forward before he tricked Naruto and brought his other hand up and slashed across Naruto's face. But instead he was the one that felt pain, as one of Naruto's knives tear right through his palm, as he winced out in pain and stepped back. The knife was yanked out by Naruto, as blood dripped from his hand. The gaping hole as he cursed, as he slowly started to heal himself. I thought you wanted to see the destruction of Konoha as well. After all they did to you, why help them? Why now? He asked. As Naruto stepped forward, I told you before, being a lackey is not a good life. Do you really want to stay like that forever? It doesn't matter what you say. You can't turn me against my lord. I work for Orochimaru-sama. Your taunts, your mind games will not work on me. Well, what will you do once he's dead? Dead? Orochimaru-sama is unkillable. You think you can kill him? You're more stupid than I thought. I didn't say I would kill him, said Naruto, but I'm just asking. What would you do? If he suddenly dies, how will you serve him then? Because it seems you want to be a lackey for the rest of your life. I don't have to stand here and listen to you. I don't know what you want or what you're up to, but you will not interfere with the plans anymore. As several sound ninjas landed, Kabuto smirked as he dashed past Naruto. But he then heard gurgles. He turned only for him to be face to face with Naruto. Kankuro was shocked as he had saw that with his own eyes. All the sound ninjas were dead. How? Kabuto was startled. As Naruto raised his hand, Kabuto tried to step back, but The hand still rested on his shoulder. Did he move? Kabuto was confused as hell. Life is no fun being a puppet. Soon enough you will realize that you have to take the reins. You have to take the control. Be the one in charge, Kabuto. It's the only way for you to live. You've been a puppet all of your life. It's time that you take control. Kabuto slashed at Naruto with his chakra scalpel, but Naruto managed to jump back in time. As Kabuto cursed, knowing that he wasted enough time here, and Naruto wouldn't allow him to touch the others. He frowned as he jumped away. As Naruto turned towards Kankuro, there was a look on his face. It was cold and calculated. As he then moved over and picked up Gaara. Hey! What are you doing, my brother? Helping you, said Naruto. Come on, let's go. Where? To your home, of course, said Naruto. You were tricked. You never wanted to be a part of this. As Naruto started to move off with Gaara. Hey, wait! As Kankuro jumped behind him, confused why he was helping them. As he was still holding on to Temari, who he had draped over his back. Kankuro, don't trust him, said Temari. Don't worry, I don't. Meanwhile, as Lulu glanced up to the sky, beside her was Sasuke, who was currently wrapped in a dozen papers. As she had took him out of the spotlight, there was also a paper covering his mouth so he could not talk. As Sasuke was cursing under said paper, as he was getting rather violent. But there was nothing he could do. He could not get free no matter how hard he struggled. No matter how he squirmed, he would not get free. As he was furious, his eyes burning towards her. But she simply ignored him. It was then that she saw something in the sky. She then looked back towards Sasuke. More papers came out of her palm, as they seemed to attach the Sasuke that was in the ball and attach him to the wall. The Soul Ninja started to flee as the attack, the retaliation from Konoha was going on. The barrier fell. There was no question in it. The third Hokage was dead. A few Konoha ninjas made their way, as they found Sasuke all bandaged and wrapped up. What the hell? Is that Sasuke Uchiha? As Sasuke mumbled at them, as one of them came over and removed the paper. What? Who did this? Just get me out of here, said Sasuke, rather angrily. Meanwhile, as Hiruzen fell, collapsing dead, he gave his life to seal Orochimaru away, but he only had enough strength to take away his arms, locking them away forever. The Soul Four quickly took Orochimaru and hightailed out of there, knowing that their master was in danger, so they ran. They ran for their life. It took them a while to get out of Konoha. Moving rather quickly, they got into the Land of Fire as they made their way, only for them to come to a sudden stop when a massive fireball came hurling down from the sky like a meteorite as it crashed in the ground, forced them to leap back. Orochimaru frowned at that, as the Sound Four had surrounded him as he moved. Who the hell is this now, he wondered to himself. He turned towards Kinemaro with a glare. Why didn't you notice someone was following us? I'm sorry, Orochimaru-sama. I didn't pick up anything, said Kinemaro, confused. As he left behind trails, but there was nothing. Not even the spiders told that someone is coming. The person in front of them was wearing all black, with a mask on, as they could not really see his face or anything. Kill him, Orochimaru said. With pleasure, Jobo said as he launched forward, as he brought his giant fist down to crush the person under his might, but to his surprise, the person tilted his head to the side, evading his fists with ease. The next thing Jobo knew, a knee buried in his gut, as he collapsed to the ground, confused because the pain was so unnaturally bad. The knee then slammed into his face as he was taking out coal, shocking the group 2 hits, and Jobo was down. I'll stop him, said Kinemaro as he spat out several spider-like webs towards the individual, who didn't say a single word. He simply moved as he evaded all of them. Kinemaro leaped as he created a bow and arrow and fired one of his golden arrow towards the individual as it was about to pierce his head. To Kidamaru's surprise and everyone else, the individual turned and caught it as he saturated his hands with chakra and turned and launched it backwards. Create a distraction now, Orochimaru said as the other members moved. Teiwai started to play her flute. Orochimaru then leaped off to get the hell out of there. He couldn't afford to stay here any longer. As the Sound 4 got back, well except for Drobo as he was currently unconscious. It was then they all found themselves in a strange room. What the hell? They were all confused about what was going on. Is this an illusion? Release, Kitamura said. But to his surprise, nothing happened. Release! But it still did not release. What's going on? Ukon said. As he glanced around, Seikon doing the same thing. Where the hell are we? Said Teiwaya. It must be that bastard that did this to us. The guy that we were just fighting. Wait. We were fighting someone? Yeah, the guy with... Wait. As Teiwaya looked around. What's going on? Where are we? She said. I don't know. I just came to, said Seikon. And found myself here. Is this... Are we on a mission for Lord Orochimaru or something? I don't know. Perhaps this is a test to keep our skills sharp by our Lord. Yes, you're quite correct about that. As Orochimaru emerged in front of them. Now let us go. The Zone 4 was put through a rigorous test, as the invasion will be starting rather soon. The invasion came, and they watched as their master clashed against the third Hokage as they kept up the barrier, but Orochimaru was losing. The third Hokage was fighting him back, even though Orochimaru had the advantages. They were shocked by that as they watched their master fought Orochimaru. And in the end, they all watched in complete shock as their master died right in front of them, shocking them. Their master was put down, but the third Hokage also died as well. Damn it, what do we do? Said Teiwaya. We have to go, said Seikon. But the body, look around. Konoha ninjas are coming. They dropped the barrier and surprised and they were able to leave Konoha. Until boom, an explosion went off and threw them all away, as they were all knocked out cold. Meanwhile, Orochimaru found himself face to face with the said individual that faced off against Zone 4. What did you do? Did you kill them? He asked. No, said Naruto, as he removed the mask showing his face. You, Orochimaru said. Huh, you surprised me. Tell me though, where's the Zone 4? What's happening? I'm curious to know how you defeated them that easily. They're currently having a moment, said Naruto. Now as for me and you, it's time that we have a proper talk. Orochimaru snarled. Proper talk? Well, why don't you die? As he shot forward, opening his mouth as a snake slithered out. But Orochimaru was beyond weak. His arms were sealed away by the third, and his body was racked with pain. The only thing that he could muster was fighting with snakes out of his mouth, but he had to pose and put on a confident facade to show that he was still in charge here, that he was still the leader. He was still a Sannin and this was a mere child. As the said snake opened its mouth and launched a blade towards Naruto's chest, only for the blonde to shatter it with his knife, forcing Orochimaru back. It was then that Naruto moved and kicked the man right in his chest. With the pain that his body was in, he was unable to keep up. Orochimaru snarled as he never expected this to be Naruto's true speed. He was much more faster than the average Jonin. The next thing he knew, a right hook slammed into the side of his face, cracking his jaw as he staggered back. But he would not fall that easily. He was Orochimaru. He was legendary Sannin. He was a snake Sannin. As snakes poured from his mouth and attacked Naruto viciously. Fire style. Annihilation flames. Orochimaru leaped away as half of the section behind him was burned to a crisp. The moment he turned, a brutal hit slammed into his back. He could not shed his skin right now because of the state that he was in. So if he was put down, he was done for. He had to dodge several blades that came towards him. As Naruto launched 5 of them at once, they stuck in the tree. Orochimaru started to pant until he heard a sound as he dodged 3 of them, but 2 stabbed into his back as he collapsed to the ground. He panted in an exhaustion way, as now his chakra felt completely worse. He coughed up blood. What is this? You... What are you doing to me? He said. As Naruto stepped forward, I'm removing you from the picture, he said. As Naruto pulled his hair back, Orochimaru was petrified when he saw those eyes. But how? You can't be. These eyes that you've always wanted, said Naruto. The eyes that make you stoop so low. The eyes that make you turn yourself into an abomination to get them. So close but so far out of your reach. The knives went deeper in Orochimaru's back as he felt pain unlike anything he's ever felt before. He didn't know if it was the state that he was in or these knives were just so much more painful, as it felt like something was spreading through him. It felt like hot magma was spreading through his veins as his body was sweating. They were then pulled out through the front as Orochimaru collapsed face first, coughing up blood. Look at you, a miserable, pathetic person. 4 more knives buried in his joints as Orochimaru could not even reveal his true form. His entire body felt destabilized because of these damn unique blades. He was sure that they weren't normal. The steel almost looked like they were forged by the gods. The way they were pristine and treated. As Orochimaru felt his last of his strength leaving him, his body started to go more and more dry. The fat in his cheek started to get sucked away, his skin became more pale. As his body started to be reduced and being sucked away. Don't feel bad, said Naruto as he kneeled down in front of him. It's just the world that will be coming up soon. There is no one like you in that world that I see. So here, I will put you for rest once and for all. As one of those knives materialized in front of Naruto's palm as he thrust it, the dying scream of the snake Sannin went off as the knife teared through his skull. As Orochimaru collapsed, blood pooling down. As Naruto held onto the knife, he closed his eyes. As strange, blue light started to flood through the knife and flood into Naruto, as his eyes remained closed for a long while. Until Orochimaru's head sunk. It was like there was nothing in there, no brain. Nothing at all. Naruto picked himself up, before he went through a series of hand signs. Fire style. Annihilation flames. As he burned the body into dust. Once he was done, he moved off. As he arrived where the Zone 4 was, he summoned clones and picked up each and every member, as he made his way off with them. Meanwhile, Kabuto was getting worried, as he had to leave Konoha. They were searching every nook and cranny. Anything looked suspicious would be detained, as he was sure that Orochimaru-sama had left by now, because the barrier had fallen. But he wasn't sure where the Zone 4 or Orochimaru-sama was, as he was waiting at the rendezvous spot, and yet, they haven't arrived yet. As Kabuto was starting to get worried, he paced around until he heard a voice. Kabuto froze. No, it can't be. He turned his gaze towards the one and only Naruto. What are you doing here? Kabuto froze when he saw who they were carrying. The clones of Naruto were carrying the members of Zone 4. What have you done? As Naruto clones calmly put them down before they poofed away. Nothing at all. You should know. Your master is dead. What? No. I told you that nothing would last forever. Kabuto activated his chakra scalpels as Naruto waved him off. Would you put those away? If I wanted you dead, I would have attacked you back there. And not to mention I brought these back for you, said Naruto as he looked towards Zone 4 members. I found them unconscious after I killed a few Konoha ninjas to get them. You're lucky I did, otherwise they would be dead. Most likely taken for interrogation. And everything would have been spilled. Ask them when they wake up what happened. They had to get out of there quickly. Orochimaru was too injured, and he was put down by several ninjas. The third had badly injured him. In the minds of the Zone 4, the vision that they saw, well, the world that they saw that they thought was real, was changing. As it was because of the way Naruto was talking. The world was changing as everything was being put together what he said. It was no longer the third that killed Orochimaru and they had to flee. It was now They were fleeing the Orochimaru and they were attacked by a large sum of ninjas, and Orochimaru died because of his injuries and they were knocked unconscious. As Kabuto snarled, "What do you want?" he said, as he saw that Naruto wasn't backing away. "I told you, I merely want you to live up to your potential. You deserve much better, Kabuto. You're not supposed to be a follower forever. Take the mantle as leader. Well, if you truly are on my side, why don't you back away and allow me to retrieve them?" "By all means," said Naruto as he stepped away. "I said I'm not your enemy. We will be in touch," he said. With that, he jumped away, leaving Kabuto there, who had to take the Sound 4 and flee, as a few Sound ninjas were with him, just in case, helping take the bodies. He cursed as he had to move, as he could sense Konoha ninjas coming along. They had to get the hell out of here fast. Time skip. They were moving rather quickly. Kankuro was sweating. This guy seemed like a powerhouse. Even while carrying Gaara, he just would not slow down, and he was making his way directly towards the sand. Temari was able to gain that mobility of her tendons getting better, but her body was still not 100%. But she still couldn't move that fast on her own, so Kankuro had to help her. As they finally came to a stop when they passed the border, as several dozen sand ninjas were currently making their way to get back to their own village, they were surprised when they saw someone that they did not recognize, as he was with his sand sibling, so they were surprised. As Baki landed, he narrowed his gaze. "Why is he here?" he asked. "He helped us," said Temari. Baki narrowed his gaze towards Naruto. "Why did you help us?" "I have a proposition," said Naruto. "One that would benefit not just you and your ninjas, but your entire village as a whole. Would you mind hearing me out? I know that this is desperate times, given that Konoha will probably launch an attack on you very soon. That is why you need me more than ever," said Naruto. Meanwhile at Konoha, with the death of Sarutobi Hiruzen, his body had not even been buried yet. Danzo was already making his move. At the moment, he was the only one that was right enough to become Hokage. He was the only one that can make Konoha strong enough so this will never happen again. And there will be retaliations on the sand. There will be retaliations on the Sound. But they had to be cautious as the nations. If they found out about this, that Konoha was so weakened as they lost a lot of men in this war, they would definitely attack, as Danzo would never make his village fall. With the two elders by his side, Homura and Koharu, the council will have to make a choice and put him as temporary Hokage, but he will make it permanent. And also, they needed back the power of a Biju. They needed their Biju. His root envoys were flanking him. Unknown to these root envoys, one of them were an imposter. There were several copies around of Naruto, one of them helping Kabuto, one of them helping his sand siblings. And now there was one standing there with a mask of a root envoy, and none of them were the wiser. But things were just getting started. But guys, if you ain't subscribed right here, for one thing person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications they posted. Remember to share all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode on Anime King and Anime King 2. Yes, if you're new and you have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post 24 every single day for guys to enjoy. But now, I'm out of here. See you guys soon. Peace!